Hi guys, my name is Shalini and
I am Syahmi.
I'm Wana.
My name is Muhammad ZAHIRUDIN.
Hi, I am DANIA.
I'm Anis SHAKIRAH.
going to talk about history of Irish accents. Okay, let's start. The fascinating variations of English full of outlandish slang and lewd musical intonations is the Irish accent. Ireland provides a cornucopia of local dialects despite its modest size. Talking about a single Irish accent would be inappropriate. Indeed, the word Hiberno English is used by linguists to refer to the vibrant group of Irish English varieties spread all over the Highlands. Although not all of them can be covered, here is a fast rundown of the variant Irish accent. Anglo-Norman invaders first brought Old English and French to Ireland's eastern coast in the 12th century. English was entirely confined to urban enclaves, mainly spoken in the area around Dublin known as the Pale, while Irish had strong throughout the rural countryside. British rulers, keen on cementing England's power, launched a slew of violent military campaigns to claim control over Ireland. The religiously and politically motivated legislation that followed stripped by many Irish people of their land, faith, civil liberties, and unsurprisingly their language. Native Irish was continually pushed farther and farther west, while English went out from the east. Throughout the country, the use of Irish declined as the social stigma against it grew. The British ruling class eventually succeeded in establishing their own vernacular as the island's chief operating language, and this flourished the Irish English we know today.
Hi, so today I am going to talk about the history of Irish accent. The second wave of the English language was brought to Ireland in the 16th century, which was in Elizabethan period. This makes the variety of English used in Ireland the oldest outside of Great Britain, and phonologically more conservative to Elizabethan English. At first, Norman English was mainly spoken in an area known as the Pale, around Dublin, with mostly the Irish language spoken throughout the rest of the country. There are some small groups remained of speakers who predominantly continued to use the English of that time. Because of their sheer isolation, these dialects developed into English-related varieties, known as Yola in Wexford and Fingalian in Fingal, Dublin, which now no longer used. By the mid-19th century, English was the majority language spoken in the country. It has retained this status to the present day, with even those whose first language is Irish being fluent in English as well. Today, there is little more than 1% of the population who speaks the Irish language natively, though it is required to be taught in all state-funded schools. In the Republic of Ireland, English is one of two official languages along with Irish, and is the country's working language. The Elizabethan era is the time in the Tudor period of the history of England, During the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, which was in 1558 until 1603, historians often depict it as the Golden Age in English history. The Tudors are one of the most remarkable dynasties in English history. Henry VII of Welsh origin successfully ended the Wars of Roses and founded the House of Tudor. He, his son, Henry VII, and his three children Edward IV, Mary I, and Elizabeth I ruled for 118 eventful years.
Hi! Me and my friend Zahi has done some researches on the differences between Irish English and British English. Some people think that the differences between these two English are merely those of an accent. However, it goes much deeper than that. As for my part, I will be explaining about the consonants and the vowels in both of these. Let's start with the consonants first. Now, how many consonants are there in both of these English? British English has a total of 24 consonants, and here are some quick ones to clear how they sound. Different than British English, Irish English has a total of 23 different consonants. You may notice here that Irish English does not have the TH English sound as in this or thin in it. Other words that Irish English does not have is the Z as in zodiac and zebra. The most important distinction between these two accents is simply the pronunciation of the letter R. Let's look at this simple example. The word car and buck. A British person will pronounce these two words without really having the sound of the letter R. It will sound something like car and buck. However, an Irishman will pronounce it by really emphasizing the letter R. It will sound just like car and bark. The phoneme, as in the and as in thin, are pronounced pretty uniquely in Irish English. This is pronounced as d, and this is pronounced as t. For example, who is this becomes who is this. You are thin becomes you are thin. Now we're gonna talk about the letter S. Here, something similar happened to the case of the letter R just now, and it tends to occur more frequently in Southern Ireland. The S before consonant assume the sound of sh as in sheep and shut. All this due to the Gaelic influence that has marked the language. So don't be surprised if you hear instead of standard and strike, you hear standard and strike. It is strange, but it is a fact. Okay, now if that's clear, let's move on to the vowels. British English has a total of 20 vowels, and these are the vowels. As for Irish English, they have 25 different consonants, and that's only the basic one. It differs according to which part of Ireland you live and blend in, which means it differs according to the dialect. The Irish tend to soften the pronunciation of the vowels opposed to the consonants. You can almost say that they sing them in a very sweet way. Did you know? According to a survey, 5,000 women by one poll, the Irish accent is considered as one of the most attractive accents in the world. Now let's put that aside. For vowels, we have pure vowels, which is monophthongs, gliding vowels, which is diphthongs, and R-colored vowels, which is similar to the consonant rhotic sound just now. A monophthong is where there is one vowel in a syllable. For example, the word tea. There's only this sound in the word tea. As for Hiberno English, this is how monophthongs look in different parts of Ireland. A diphthong is where there is two vowels in a syllable. For example, the word boy. There is this sound in the word boy. As for Hiberno English, this is how diphthong looks around the island. Here are a word to practice vowels in Irish English. The sound I, as in fly in British English, becomes oi in Irish English. So, fly becomes floy. That's all for me. Let's move on to Zahir's explanation on the word stress and the intonation.
Assalamualaikum and good day to you. My name is MUHAMAD and I am going to be explaining the word stress and the intonation of the Irish accent. The first point of my video is about the word stress in Irish accent. It's very simple because except for a few common words with an unstressed prefix, all words are strongly accented on the first syllable. That means it's like the word greenhouse, understand, treehouse. So it's that simple, huh? Okay, now let's talk about the intonation of an Irish accent. You know, for what I researched online, I noticed that there are many different dialects of Irish accents. For example, a Northern Irish accent, the way the tone they start speaking is in the middle, but at the end of the sentence, they go up. For example, I am 18 years old. I live in Malaysia. I have a house. I am taking Ftesl. That is a northern accent, but in Dublin, Ireland, it's different. They start talking with middle, and then they will go down in tone. Means almost like an American accent. The way they speak with a low tone at the end. So it's like, I am 18 years old. I have a house. I drove a red car. That is the difference between a Northern and a Dublin Ireland accents. There are many dialects, but I chose those two because they are the most clear and easy examples to show you guys. That's all for me today. Assalamualaikum and have a good day.
So now let's move on to what we have learned in this project, where we were assigned to do some research about different kinds of English accents. So our group chose the Irish accent. Based on the research that we have been done, we gain a lot of new things and a lot of new informations about Irish accents. This project is truly open our eyes in seeing the world, because even after all this year, we didn't even know about the existence of Irish accent, because we only know two accents, which is the first one is British accent and the second one is American accents. So by doing this project, we know that other accents existed too, like Irish accent. So by doing this project, we not only know about the difference of the differences of pronunciation of words, but we also know about the history of English accent and the people who always use this accent, which is the people who live in Ireland. Next, we realized that it is so important to learn about different and many kind of accents, because as we know, the usage of an unsuitable accent can create an invisible barrier between the speaker and the listener. For example, when an outsider trying to have a conversation with the locals of a particular place that uses absolutely different pronunciation of words and different accent, different sounds, they will likely to have communication problems. Sometimes the word that a person use in a conversation is just a regular words, but the other person who do not know about this accent might have some misunderstandings or having some difficulties to understand what is the person is trying to say, just because the word has a different pronunciation. So by learning this accent, we can say that we could understand the conversation better, and at the same time, the other people will have a good impression on us when we speak.
Furthermore, we learn about the familiar words and phrases usually used by Irish people. For instance, when they say, "What's crack?" that means what's going on. It is important to know and learn about the familiar phrases so we doesn't get confused or misunderstood when having a conversation with Irish English speaker. We also get the opportunity to gain more confidence and courage to speak English. After learning how Irish people pronounce their word differently based on where they come from, we build a self-confidence in ourselves to talk in the accent that we are familiar. We also can practice to speak in Irish accent. Lastly, it is amazing to learn about how the whole world use English as a lingua franca, but each place or state has their own accent. As Rita Mae Brown says, language is the roadmap of a culture. It tells you where people come from and where they are going. English is a precious language and definitely a huge loss if nobody wants to learn about it. We are grateful and glad to do this assignment and discover the beautiful accent of the amazing Ireland.